Welcome. This afternoon we're going to be doing an exercise to connect us with our creativity and also to connect us with our inner critic and help us deal with that. So to do this exercise you'll need a few pieces of blank white paper and a pen or pencil that you can draw with, textures or whatever you've got. So firstly, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write our name on the top of the page with our non-dominant hand. So that means if you normally write with your right hand, your non-dominant hand is your left hand. If you write with your left hand, then your non-dominant hand is the right hand. So whichever hand you don't usually write with. So just write up the top of the page the date and your name. And then once you've done that, continue on with your non-dominant hand, the one you don't usually write with. And then you're just going to take 3 deep breaths and connect with that non-dominant hand. And then you're going to think about some experience in your life, some emotion, something that's happened in your life. So whether it be a really happy emotion or it be a sad time or a fearful time, whatever, you're going to, with your non-dominant hand, draw a picture of that time. Whatever relates to you and brings that energy of that time back to you, just draw it with your non-dominant hand. So I normally write with my right hand, so I will be drawing with my left hand. Just drawing the picture, whatever it is. Today I won't actually draw a picture with you. I'll just let you do it another day. Once I've mastered things a bit better, I might actually do a painting. I usually do this in my workshops and it's a totally different way of doing things. So we'll just see how this goes. But yeah, you draw your picture, tune in, really tune into that emotion. That's the idea. Put yourself into a meditative state and imagine, feel and see that emotion that you want to put down on the paper. Might be something you want to rid yourself of or something that you might want to remind yourself of, a good time. And particularly because the energies have been really heavy about us being overcritical of ourselves and beating ourselves up, this is a really good exercise to help you get through that and get rid of it. So you just take your time and draw your picture. And then when you've done that, you can stop the video when you're doing it if you need more time. But I'll just keep going with it because otherwise we'll run out of time before we've done what we need to do. So you draw your picture with your non-dominant hand of your emotion that you're feeling, whether it be a happy one, a sad one, a fearful one, an angry one, just something that you want to put down, some emotion you want to put down on that paper. So you do that, you get that done. And when you're all done drawing that emotion, you then are going to get in touch with your feelings about how that's done. So you're going to ask yourself a few questions like, and you're still writing with your non-dominant hand, what does it feel like to write with my non-dominant hand? What does it feel like to write with my non-dominant hand? What did it feel like to draw with my non-dominant hand? Did I feel that critical of what I was doing? Did I feel that my drawing wasn't very good? Was I feeling that this was a stupid idea? How did it make me feel to draw with my non-dominant hand? Did it feel liberating? Did I feel good about doing it? So just ask those questions and then answer them with your non-dominant hand. And then now we're going to change hands and put our pen or our texter in our dominant hand, the hand we write with all the time, and we're going to get a clean sheet of paper or write in your journal, whichever you prefer. And now you're going to let your inner critic out. And your inner critic is going to evaluate what you've done. So, for example, your inner critic might say, well, this is a stupid exercise. What on earth would you want to do that for? It's a terrible drawing. You're not very artistic. What are you doing this for? This is just a waste of your time and energy. Whatever comes, write it down. Don't think about it, just write. Whatever this inner critic has to say, continue to write. And your inner critic will be very, very critical. It'll use examples of things that you won't like. So your inner critic is very, very critical. I'm telling you how silly it is to do this and what a waste of time it is and all that sort of thing. Whatever comes to your mind, whatever negative stuff comes to your mind, write it down with your dominant hand. Then when you've finished, read it back to yourself. And once you've read that all back, change hands again and either lower on that same sheet of paper or on a new page or a new sheet of paper. You're going to get in touch with your inner brat now, your out there self. You're going to answer your inner critic. And you're going to answer that inner critic in any way you want. You might even use 4-letter words. And you're going to tell that inner critic off in whatever way it feels good. And you're going to do that in your non-dominant hand. So, for an example, you might choose to write to your inner critic, well, what would you know? All you do is criticise me. I'm sick and tired of being put down by you. I'm capable and I'm confident and I can do this. And what you think doesn't really matter. So, piss off and leave me alone and let me do what I've got to do. You might say worse than that. But that's the idea. You can really get it all out of this inner critic using the inner brat, the little brat that's not going to be told what to do by anybody or anything, and you're just going to tell that inner critic to get lost. So you take your time, you're not hesitating or thinking, you just allow your non-dominant hand to answer back that inner critic. You let it flow freely and strongly and tell that inner critic off. Tell them that you're not going to be put down by them anymore, that you're stronger than that and you value yourself more than that. So once you've done that and written your answer, you can go back and you can read that over again. While you're writing it, just don't think about it. Just write whatever comes. And, you might swear or you might be very kind and delicate and very nice. But whatever way you feel is right to answer that with your non-dominant hand, you do. And this is a great exercise for you to do because we can do it with anything. Whenever we find ourselves putting ourselves down and our inner critic is coming out and having a go at us, we can quickly set aside a few minutes, get a piece of paper out, connect with our inner brat and tell off this inner critic so that we're not continually putting ourselves down. And then just after you've done all this, just answer a couple of questions. Just write with your non-dominant hand. How did that feel? Do I feel uplifted now that I've told my inner critic off? Has this been valuable to me? Did I enjoy it? Will I use it again? And then just write down your answers. Take a few deep breaths and take notice of, go back now and look at your picture that you did of your emotion. Have a good look at it, relate to it, look at what it is about. If it's about fear or something negative you really need to let go of, then just take 3 deep breaths and say to yourself, by writing or drawing this emotion on the pages, I've released it from within me, and now I can dispose of it. If it's something that I no longer wish to keep, something I wish to be rid of, I can go and burn it or rip it up and throw it in the bin. If it's something joyful that you're connected with, a time that you want to remember, go back and really feel in that feeling and remember it and honour it. And think how lucky you are to have experienced this experience. So you can use this both ways, the drawings and the creativity you're doing. You can use it to bring back good memories, and you can also use it to release things that you no longer need in your life. And it's particularly useful dealing with that inner critic. I hope you've enjoyed this little exercise, and I hope it came across okay. It's a lot easier doing these things when you're physically doing them with people and showing them what you mean, but hopefully it was clear enough to you, and it's a really good process, and it is uplifting. It's really good to be able to paint and draw your emotions out, and just connecting with that inner energy, putting yourself in a meditative state and connecting, and then without thinking, going ahead and doing it on your sheet of paper, drawing, painting, whatever. It's really cathartic and really, really useful and healing. So I hope you enjoyed this little exercise. If you did, please give me the thumbs up, hit subscribe and the bell, and share, and send a comment. Just let me know whether you found this helpful or useful. I'd love to hear from you. Have a wonderful afternoon. Love and blessings, Kath. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow morning for the general daily card reading. Love and blessings, Kath.